Right, just a bit of a bleed on the brakes, especially the front ones. So basically how I did that was on each brake, each side has a bleed nipple here. And then basically all I did up here was I took that clip off, pop that one off, you turn your steering far to the right to straighten it so it's nice and level, pop the cap off, and all you do is you can buy these one-way bleeders, but I've made a thing to bleed mine into. But basically it's basically putting a tube on this one and an 8mm spanner. You pump the lever a few times, hold it in, open the bleed nipple, let the fluid or air, whatever is in there, out. And then you keep it held in, and then you tighten it, and then you release the top and just give it a few little pumps until it comes hard again, and just keep repeating that process until, well, I do it so I've done probably about a pot full per bleed nipple. So you have to keep an eye on this one, obviously, because you don't want it to empty and get air and pump air into the system. So you keep filling that one up as you're pumping it through, but I just do a pot full per bleed nipple. So there's one on that side and there's one on that side. So I've done that one. Next one I bled out was the rear brake, and for that one you have to take the seat off, the side panel. There's a few bolts. There's one here, there'll be one that comes up from underneath here, and there'll be one of your fairing panel ones here. And then you take the fairing panel off, and then you'll see you've got your reservoir here for your rear brake. Now I had undid this one, pulled it out slightly, then took the cap off, and basically did exactly the same thing. You know, I took the cap off, I watched the levels on that one whilst I pumped the back brake, and on the rear caliper there are two nipples. There's one there and there's one the opposite side, and that is a little devil to basically tighten and release as you're pumping. But you can do it, it just takes a bit more time, and you can only release a very slow amount each time. So a pot full per nipple on that one, and then bled that one through, obviously tightened up, pumped it, and then retightened these. And once I finished doing that and it's nice and tight and there's a good amount on the pedal, it's solid, place the cap, make sure it's topped up to the right level, place the cap, pop it back in the bike, and let's put the panels back on. The last one on this one, because it has a hydraulic clutch, as you can see here, and the reservoir on top, I have to put the steering all the way to the right, so that levels this pot up on the side stand. Undo those two screws, pop the top off, and you've got a plastic cap, as it were, underneath that, and then the rubber underneath that. You take them off, and basically fill it up, and that's your clutch there, and there's your bleed nipple. Now the same process as this one as the brakes. You literally, it's your pumping and you're releasing the pressure, then it comes through the pipe, and then tightening it up and refilling the top as it gets low. Hopefully air comes out or anything else like that. Well, with this one, what I did is when you pump this one, it basically does a little jet of oil every time. So what I did is I got the little plastic plate that's on the top and just rested it over the top, so that once it squirts, it hits the plate and comes back into the bowl. And that just saved me a lot of mess all over my bike. So I don't know if that helps, but yeah, so my clutch is quite nice now. You can feel it, it's biting literally there, and you've got real nice play on that clutch now. There was a bit of air in my clutch from the slave that come out. The little device thing that I've made to use for this little thing is this one here. So it has the tube that goes to the actual nipple, and that goes down inside the liquid, and then you have just a breather pipe. You could have just a hole, but I have a breather pipe just in case I knock the jar over, it doesn't spill out everywhere. So yeah, so once that liquid has then been pumped all the way down through that tube and all the way back into that one. The air is then released up. Even if you don't accidentally tighten it enough, all it's going to draw back through the system is hydraulic fluid, not air. So I don't know if that helps, if it's a good idea. Give us your thoughts on it. But that's how I found it's good, because then I'm never letting air back into the system. I make sure that air goes all the way around, all the way through the liquid first, and bubbles out until there's nothing but just liquid in that pipe. And that makes sure that I don't get any air go back into the system whilst I'm trying to bleed. But yeah, that's it for today.